Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Guy, going up here today with part 3 of, part 3 or part 4? I think part 3. The PlayStation 2 Collection. Sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm feeling a bit, last night I was up a bit, like, feeling sick and that. So, I'm like this today, so just gonna chill today. Yesterday was just too much for me. I've just had one of, with everything that happened yesterday, I think it just got too much for me. But anyway, let's just go straight into it. With the stuff yesterday, the ones that I took out for sale, like the Dynasty Warriors and the Dragon Lair was a £10 each up on eBay. So I'll be looking through this, and I've actually, what I'm tempted to do at some point is actually put all of my stuff up on pricecharting.com. I have got a price charting thing, just because that way I can keep an eye on the prices of stuff. I know it goes on eBay prices. I normally go on CEX prices when it comes to selling on Facebook or stuff, but with eBay prices, it's always good to keep an eye on things. So I'm tempted to get my laptop and set that all up and add some on there. But anyway, let's go into it. So first up we have ATV Off-Road Fury 3 racing game. Some of these ATV games are collectible now. Haven Call of the King. I think that was originally on the Dreamcast, I want to say, or something like that. Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. A lot of the Harry Potter games now are becoming a little bit more expensive. They're in the £5 to £10 range now. Of course, Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban, this is about a £6-7 game now. I paid 99p for it originally. Happy Trail Hamster Ball. Kind of looks like a excuse me, monkey ball type game. Cheap game. Gun Griffin Blaze, another mech game. Pretty cheap one. Gunfighter 2 Revenge of Jesse James. This was actually made by Rebellion. I think it's a light gun game. I think it is like a light gun game. This one's going up to about a £5 game now. Dragon Ball Z Budokai, the original Budokai game, still fairly cheap. Gauntlet Dark Legacy, it's about a £6-7 game now. Garfield, I don't really know. This is an exclusive to the European PAL territory. I don't know the price of this one now. G1 Jockey from Koei, when Koei and THQ worked together and they made these GI games. Some of these games are becoming a little bit more expensive. I can't imagine it being too expensive. G Surfers, probably another cheap one, £2 game or so. Largo Winch, I did not like this game at all. I couldn't get into it, so I might put this one up for sale. Check the price on that one. Gran Turismo 4, still a fairly cheap game, but still about a £3 to £4 game, but it's an excellent game. Many hours spent on this as a kid. And the prologue version, back when they actually made prologue versions, this is kind of like a play this before you play the other one kind of thing. So the prologue version is actually a little bit more sought after, hard to find. Penny Racers, the PS2 version is not too expensive, but the PS1 version is a little bit more expensive. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, really cheap game, about £1 game now still. Same with Tokyo Geneva. This one's a little bit more expensive, but it's not too expensive. Quite easy to find. A bit harder to find, sorry, but there was 2003, which was exclusive to Japan. Aragon, another cheap licensed game. I think I played it on the Xbox 360. Brothers in Arms, Earned in Blood. These are actually kind of fun, sort of tactical World War II shooters. Still a fairly cheap game. PDC Darts 2008. Again, fairly cheap game. Bit uncommon, you don't see it that often, but it's not too expensive. Same with Paris-Dakar Rally, fairly cheap and common game. Bionicle, also a fairly cheap and common game. Sorry I'm doing this, like telling you how cheap and common it is. I think it's just good to share this kind of thing because people might be interested. It was an okay game. Casino Challenge, a bit more, I'd say, in the uncommon thing, but it's very cheap. Not worth the money though. It's very cheap. Mercenaries 2 World in Flames, still quite common. The first one's a bit more common, the PS2 version of the second one, because it came out on the Xbox 360. So most people would have probably got that version. NBA Live 07, again, sports games, always cheap and common. Most of them anyway. Colin McRae Rally 3, still a fairly cheap game. Most racing games are quite cheap still. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, still a fairly cheap game. You probably all can get this one for under £5. Some Dragon Ball Z games are getting more expensive now, so just be aware of that. Outlaw Volleyball Remixed. This is actually quite of an uncommon game. You don't see it that often, but it's not a too expensive one either. Worms Fort Under Siege. Again, another fairly cheap game. I'd say this one's a bit more in the uncommon line, but it's still fairly cheap. Crazy Frog Racer, very common, very cheap game. Kind of a fun one though. Buster Block, cheap game. It's basically like Arkanoid kind of thing. Cheap game, common. Boogie, again, cheap game. I'd say this is still quite common. ESPN Track and Field, a cheap game, but I put this in the uncommon line of games. You don't see it that often, but it's cheap. Battlestar Galactica, this is about a £4 game now. I paid £2.50 for it, so it's gone up in price a little bit, but it's not too expensive. And One Street Ball, a fairly cheap game, but it is actually getting a bit more uncommon. It took me a while to find this one. It's a Ubisoft basketball game, kind of an obscurity one there. America's 10 Most Wanted, absolutely terrible game, but it's still quite common and very cheap, of course. ATV Off-Road Fury 2, I think there was either 3 or 4 on the PS2. And these are always quite cheap and common games. I know one of them's a bit more expensive. Excuse me. iToy Play 2, always cheap, these games. Athens 2004, cheap, common game. Some of these Olympic games are quite fun to play with friends. It is just a case of button mashing or stuff like that, but you can have some fun with it. Over the Head, very common game, but I really enjoyed this one. Great co-op game, beat 'em up style game. It's a lot of fun actually. This one is kind of drop in, drop out. Medal of Honor European Assault, again another cheap one. The Medal of Honor games are always quite cheap and common, but this one's a bit more than the uncommon one. The Frontline and Rising Sun are the most common. But Ugly Martian, Zoom or Doom, a bit of an uncommon game but not expensive. 24 The Game, cheap game. I'd put this in the common line. American Chopper, I'd put this down as maybe uncommon, but it's not too expensive. Maybe it's gone up in price, I don't know the price of it yet. All-Star Baseball 2002. Baseball games are a bit more uncommon in the UK because obviously baseball isn't really a big sport here in the UK, but they aren't expensive. I know a few of them are expensive though. Alias, common game. It was an okay game. At the Races, Gallop Racer from Zoo Digital Publishing, Tecmo. Cheap, common game. Maxed Out Racing, another low budget racing game, cheap. I put this down as maybe on the lower end of uncommon. Centre Court Hard Hitter, common sports game. Tennis games can be a lot of fun in the right time, I think. Dynasty Warriors 2, very common game, one of the first games released on the PS2 of course, so many memories of that one. Dr. Dolittle, fairly cheap game. These Blast games are sought after because they are terrible. Same with Charlie's Angel, was one of the worst games ever made. I haven't heard. I don't know. Yeah. The Buzz music quiz. Some of the Buzz games are going up in price. If you have the Buzz controllers with them, if you still have them in the sealed packs, they actually go for a decent price. Charlotte's Web, again, cheap, common, not that great. Dropship United Peace Force, one of the launch titles for the PS2, I believe. Yeah, 2001. This was an early game. Battle Construction Vehicles, cheap game. It's kind of an interesting one. It's a fighting game with construction vehicles. It's a common game. It's not too expensive, but mine come with this little card in here. So if anyone knows if this card is actually part of the actual main game, or if it's a promo item or what, I don't know. Yeah. Bomberman Hardball, uncommon game, but surprisingly not that expensive actually. Normally Bomberman games are sought after, but this one isn't that expensive. Guitar Hero World Tour. The Guitar Hero games that are the more expensive ones on the PS2 are Guitar Hero 5 and Guitar Hero, I think it's Greatest Hits. That's probably the most expensive one. These games are cheap on their own, but if you have the instruments to go with them, you can get decent price for them. Catwoman, based on the Halle Berry movie. Common, cheap game. Call of Duty 2, Big Red 1, the exclusive Call of Duty 2 that was different from the other Call of Duty 2. Cheap, common, Call of Duty, what do you expect? The Golden Compass, another cheap and common one. It's a licensed game. Conflict Global Storm. The Conflict games are becoming a bit more sought after, but at the same time they're not too expensive. Babe, Pig in the City, again, terrible game. Buzz the Big Quiz, again, like I said, some of these are becoming a bit more sought after. 18 Wheeler, fairly cheap game. And then the last stack here. Excuse me. Army Men Sarge's War. These Army Men games are still pretty cheap, so pick them up now while you can. There is a new Army Men game. Well, not an actual Army Men game, but there's one that's like it. The plastic Army Men that you can get on PS4 and that. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called like Plastic Warfare or something. But that's like a multiplayer game. Looks kind of fun though. Air Ranger, Rescue Helicopter. A bit of an uncommon game, but not too expensive. FIFA World Cup 2002. This actually is a bit more uncommon, but it's not expensive by any means. Took me a while to find this one. 4x4 Evo, cheap, common. I'd say maybe uncommon, but not expensive. And when I say common and uncommon, I mean in terms of going out and finding them in you know, like CEX or charity shops and stuff like that. That's what I mean. Ignore eBay and stuff, because you can find anything on there. Ants Extreme Racing, fairly cheap, common game, not that great, I've heard. Bionicle Heroes, this is kind of an interesting one because I think it was one of TT Games' first type of game, made with also Idios. Cheap and common. Arthur and the Invisibles, a bit more uncommon. Took me a while to find this one, but it's not expensive. Battle Engine Aquila, cheap game. I don't think it's gone up in price. Yeah. Avatar, The Legend of Aang, Burning Earth. Some of these Avatar and Nickelodeon games have gone up in price. This one's, I'd say, maybe a little bit more uncommon. Bassmaster Fishing. Some fishing games are quite uncommon. I can't remember how. This one's not one you see all the time, but it's cheap. Same with FIFA World Cup Germany. I remember playing this on the Xbox 360. Came out about the same time. AFL Live 2004. These Aussie rules football games. Only a few of them were released here in the UK. but they are getting a bit more uncommon. Not too expensive though. And then last we have Aqua 2 Electrics. Kind of looks like a cool game, sort of like a puzzle game where you drop water and stuff. Bit more common now, not too expensive. But anyway guys, so that's today's video. Sorry I don't sound too great. Yeah, yesterday was just it took its toll on me. My stomach's going a bit off. I just woke up and I'm like, oh, I know what I've got to do now. I won't go into details, you don't need to know, but I think yesterday, with everything that happened yesterday, I think it just got to me a little bit, and maybe I just ate a bit too much as well, so I'm taking it easy today. You know, I might just come back up later and do a bit of chilling and stuff like that today. I'm going to check all the prices on these in a minute anyway, and all of that stuff. But yeah, hopefully I feel a bit better tomorrow, because we've got the school teachers coming around to have a house visit, so hopefully I should be alright. I think if I take it easy today, I should be alright. I don't know. I haven't got a fever or anything like that. My nose is a bit blocked, but that's because I sneezed not long ago. I don't know. It's just, it might just be like one of them when you've eaten too much and then it plays up on you. But I was doing a lot of walking yesterday, and you know, so. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and of course comment below, let me know if there's anything here that's worth checking out. I will be checking all the prices of these, and I will be over the time putting all of my games up on price charting, so I can keep an eye on them. I think it's better for me to do it that way, because I think price charting notify you if your stuff has gone up in price, so that'll be interesting to see. I was going to do it yesterday, tell a lie, but because of all that shit that happened, I never got around to doing it. Otherwise I would have done it yesterday, but I might do it today. I might bring my laptop up here and just start writing down some stuff. It's easier to do it on my laptop than my phone. But and as always guys, subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Mad Kiger. And once again, thank you for all the support on the channel. I appreciate it. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I appreciate the advice given on that video that I uploaded yesterday. Like I said, I don't really want to go back into that more details. I just won't go to that shop anymore. You know, I don't really know. It just, so it is what it is, I guess. You know, there's plenty of other shops to go to, and there's online shopping and things. So one shop is not gonna put me down, I guess. You know, I know that I'm innocent. I know that I've never done anything like that in my life. Some people say, you know, try and get solicitors, but I don't need all that extra stress in my life. I'm not the first person that this has happened to, and I'm certainly not going to be the last person that this has happened to. So it is nice to know that there's other people that have had similar problems, and you know, it just sort of moved on, I guess. But anyway, as always, have a nice day, and I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with part 4 of the PlayStation 2 collection. Take care, and bye bye.